Hi everyone. Well, we've got some quite significant weather coming up over the next few days with a flood watch out, in fact. But we'll get to that in just a moment. First of all, we'll start off with this evening. We've got this area of showery rain moving up from the south. Was actually an hour or so ago now, and you can see it moving up just to the west of us. There's going to be a bit of lightning mixed in with this as well. But like I said, most of it should stay just to the west of us, although a few showers are likely to develop a bit closer to us as we move through the second half of the night. Now, some of these showers, if they do develop quite close to us, they could be heavy. They won't everywhere, not everywhere is going to get them, but cause they will be well scattered, but they could be heavy, could be a bit of thunder mixed in. But then as we move through the second half of the night, things dry out a bit. And then further band of showery rain move through. Now this is later on tomorrow afternoon. Now some of this showery rain could be very heavy indeed, and this is when the winds start picking up, and this rain moves through. Like I said, it's only showery, but with this, the winds could get quite strong for a time. So let's get to what's happening. So this is the wind strength for tonight. This is the average wind speed. We'll overlay the wind arrows as well. So you can see they're coming in from southeast or east-southeast. Not that strong, but we're going to see some quite large waves in more eastern parts of the island this evening, and around high tide, but nothing too significant. And as we move into tomorrow, doesn't look like too much changes, although as we move through the day, the wind slowly increases in strength. High tide tomorrow, or should I say around high tide, so around the middle of the day, early afternoon. The wind strength not too strong. We're looking at average speeds around 23, 26 miles per hour, gusting to around 32 miles per hour. That's not too bad, but what this means is that we're going to see some pretty large waves along the south, the west and the east side of the island tomorrow. And with this, it looks like we could see a little bit of storm surge, but we'll get to that storm surge part in just a moment. So as we move through tomorrow evening, the winds drop away a bit. It doesn't look too bad. And then as we arrive into the night time, the winds start to pick up again. And even though tomorrow night doesn't look too bad with the winds do strengthen through tomorrow daytime again. So we're seeing average wind speeds here. We're looking 28 to 32 miles per hour average speeds. So we're going to be seeing 45, maybe even 50 miles per hour gusts, and coming in from the south, which once again means there's going to be some very large waves coming in off the English Channel. And this is what's going to be combining with this. With the high tides, and what's also helping produce a storm surge, which is a combination of the wind and the area of low pressure that's moving through. Now these winds start to drop off a little bit as we move into Saturday. They may pick up a little bit again around the middle of the day, and which once again could give some very large waves. By then the risk of flooding is very, very low. So we're not really too worried, but we've still got the watch out just in case. So let's get over to the actual storm surge chart now. So this is how it's looking. This is through tomorrow. You can see we've got a little bit of storm surge, nothing much. I mean, this really isn't that significant compared to what some places in the world, especially across to the what the US are experiencing at the moment. But even so, it's still quite significant because it could cause a few problems. So we've got around 0.2, 0.3 metres of storm surge through tomorrow. Nothing too bad. Drops off again quite close to zero, really, towards tomorrow night. And then as we move through Friday, it peaks really quickly. 0.4, maybe 0.5 metres. There's a couple of a bit of a variation between the different computer models. Some are showing around 0.3, some are showing 0.5. So this is the most extreme case of what could be happening. So this one's showing us around 0.5 metres of storm surge, which is quite a lot of storm surge if it, combined with a very high tide, due to it being a spring tide. As well as that, we'll have some large waves as well. So the whole lot combined, it's going to be quite significant. And then it drops off again as we move through the day, and then another little mini peak just for high tide on Friday evening for the next high tide early Saturday morning. So this is how the actual map looks of what could happen. Now we're not expecting a load of flooding everywhere, and if we do get anything, it'll be very minor indeed. But anywhere that's borderline risk of flooding, so we might see a little bit of overtopping of the sea defences. So we've got Yarmouth, may see a little bit of a hint of it, especially tomorrow night. Should I say especially tomorrow day and also on Friday. The same goes for around Newtown, maybe a little bit here, possibly a little bit in Cowes as well, and down the River Medina, and then once again out towards Bembridge, maybe just a hint. But like I said, this would only be very, very slight if it happens at all. And in these areas here, this is where we're likely to see the quite large waves that may be breaking over the walls and that. So surprisingly, it would actually be Ryde and down towards Seaview and Seagrove Bay, Whitecliff Bay of course, and then down through Sandown Bay itself, you know, from Sandown right through to Shanklin, down towards Ventnor. During Friday and possibly Saturday we could see some waves breaking over here, although not likely over the next 24 hours really, and maybe out towards night and we could see a little bit of down at Castlehaven, the waves coming over the defences there, and maybe out here towards Freshwater, Freshwater Bay, that is, just a little bit, and this would also be on Friday. So anyway, that's how it's looking. We'll give you more updates as we go on. We may also give you a bit of a live feed if we find anything interesting over the next couple of days. But anyway, that's all for now. Goodbye.